Okay, so I'm here at Bryant Park, and we are getting ready to start the third session of Occupy Wall Street Summer Disobedience School. I've been sitting here with these folks, helping them blow up these debt balloons that have got the number of different debts, particularly of student debt, on them. Sounds like we're going to be getting started here pretty soon, so I've got the stream up. As you can see, they've got the lawn here in Bryant roped off. They're I don't know what they're doing on the lawn. They're setting up this stage thing here, though.
Right now we have one that is centered, or that's going to be doing with balloons. And the whole idea is that with balloons busting, bubbles bursting, it's just like the baker's market is busting in front of their place right now. I'm gonna turn it over to Monica. She'll pull it over, fill you in on some more details, and we'll get started.
Well, just because we're in a different space now, even though they opened up the park, I figured we might just do a little walk about here with the balloons and music and just see if we catch any more people, and then come back here and start.
I have flyers. I notified, I forget what her name is, but I have flyers if you want to pass these out. Some people want to pass them out as we're going.
Yeah.
So who wants flyers?
We're just gonna walk around in the park here.
I guess I'll take that. Thank you.
Yeah, and if you guys want to grab balloons or something as we walk around, and we'll just
So if you missed that, since usually we kind of meet over here-ish in the lawn, but because the lawn's roped off, we're meeting here. So sounds like we're going to do a little bit of a circuit around the park, see if we can pick any stragglers up.
Are you live streaming?
Live streaming, yeah.
What's your link?
www.lank.tv.
That's your live stream right there.
Yeah.
TV.
Mm-hmm.
You do it on your own, or are you with someone?
Do it on my own, yeah.
That's cool. That's cool.
Got a little boom box here. Okay, thank you.
Meet up with everybody at.
So we're heading around Bryant Park right now with the balloons that say debt on them. I see there?
I think, yeah.
$1 trillion student debt, that says. Thank you.
Everybody will do it right.
And we're going to try and pick up people to join us on today's actions.
What's your name, by the way? Chris. This is your first time you've ever played? Oh, okay, no. Oh, okay. I haven't seen it before, but then again, Saturday is going to be.
Come to the lawn to learn how to disobey.
So we're getting ready to start right now. We're getting ready to start the third session. There they go, trailing out on the lawn. Darn. Huh. Guess I'm gonna have to too. They're crossing. Park Pose just watching over there. Thank you guys for joining me. I'm gonna try to get off the lawn. Oh, are they going back the other way? Shoot. I try not to break rules and not make myself a target, but poop. Park Pose over there just hanging out.
Live from last night.
A little bit of occupartying going on. Yeah, I like this camera. How's it going?
Who doesn't have a summer Disobedience Summer workbook? It's updated.
Did you get my knockoff receiver?
So right now it looks like I'm the only streamer here. If somebody else shows up, I'll let you know, because if there's different actions that happen, it's good for there to be multiple streamers.
Yeah, we should just keep playing on the video there because it's very creative.
Ideally, we could have 3 per event. I think that would be a good minimum. But right now, it's just me.
For me, I was like, oh, we never thought of this before. I've never thought. I've been doing anti-news stuff for a minute now. Never thought.
Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. We just want to read the Pledge of Disobedience.
We just want to read the Pledge of Disobedience.
I pledge disobedience.
I pledge disobedience
To the power of Wall Street.
to the power of Wall Street
And the government of the 1%.
and the government of the 1%.
One no.
One no,
Many yeses.
many yeses.
Another world is possible.
Another world is possible
With liberty.
with liberty
And justice.
and justice
For all.
for all. Up twinkles.
All right, well, I'm going to start with the intro. This is Summer Disobedience School. Welcome to week 3 of Summer Disobedience School, a 12-week project or training program that empowers every participant to map and disrupt sites of capitalist injustice across the city. Each week, new people step forward to try out a range of creative tactics. We learn together by doing. Our education is a direct action. We are teaching ourselves how to be brave, and to reclaim our power. Power to the people!
Okay, so today we're having a theme kind of with student solidarity, right? A lot of you have seen what's been going on. You can't miss it. What's happening in Quebec right now, it's phenomenal. And we've been having marches every week in solidarity. You see a lot of red squares around. So we just wanted to, some of the action we're doing today is about student solidarity and student uprisings. So we just wanted to briefly introduce a few student uprisings in history that have had some success. So if people come forward, there'll be Sean in here. Okay, how many people know about the lunch counter sit-ins? Do we remember that this was started by 4 students? 4 of them. And this action, which they started in 1960, lots of people saw what they were doing, and this was reproduced. This went viral way before the internet. People saw what was going on, and this became lots and lots of sit-ins at different lunch counters challenging the segregation of inside space, of supposedly public space. And this had a huge effect, starting from just 4 students and mushrooming out. This had a huge effect on breaking down segregation in the South in America.
So in 1989 in Tiananmen Square, everybody knows what happened. And they know that because of the image that is so recognizable. In 1989, Gorbachev visited China. Pro-democracy students took the immediate opportunity to occupy Tiananmen Square. They built a symbolic statue of liberty, and they called it the goddess of democracy. They were trying to appeal to the international community with recognizable symbols. Unfortunately, the Chinese military provided one of the most recognizable images in modern history, when they murdered hundreds of students who were protesting the government.
How many of you have heard of Otpor? Yeah, in Serbia, these guys are so amazing, and they've been, the effects of what they've done in Serbia have gone around the world, like in Egypt and everything. We'll get to that in a moment. So, Otpor started with the students, really tried to engage the youth. They used rock and roll shows, they used Monty Python type street theater tactics, they used humor to mock the dictator. They made a film and a booklet bringing down dictators, and they've gone on to bring this teachings and trainings to people around the world. They've translated in many languages, and over 50 countries have used this. A lot of the people and the protesters in Egypt got trained through their group Canvas, which they started. Canvas stands for Center for Applied Nonviolent Actions and Strategies. So they started with 12 students and ended up getting 70,000 people to bring down Milosevic, right? This oppressive regime in Serbia. And they've trained activists in Egypt, Iran, Zimbabwe, Burma, Venezuela, Ukraine, Palestine war. They're starting this. This is so cool. I can't believe I didn't know about this. They're starting a school in the Maldives, Democracy Island. Have you guys heard about this?
Right on.
It's amazing. We all have to go to the Maldives and get on this island before it disappears into the water and train with them in their tactics of nonviolence and creative resistance. Amazing group. Anyway.
So 1968 in Mexico City at Plaza Local Square, 10,000 high school and college students gathered to protest the free regime after months of trying to get social, political, and educational reforms. And 10 days before the Olympics, they gathered to say, we don't want the Olympics, we want a revolution. And it ended with 28 students being killed and hundreds being injured, and then continued to grow and influence the Zapatista movement years to come.
Can anyone else briefly tell us another student-led revolution you know? Yeah.
It's not a revolution, but I just wrote this down as action.
Yeah.
But 1978 anti-apartheid demonstrations in my college spread around the country. Eventually, we got companies to disinvest in companies that did business in South Africa that had some effect in overthrowing the apartheid.
Any other student-led uprisings?
Student movements in the Middle East right now, and in various countries in the Middle East,
a lot of the revolutions were powered by students, partially. So that's a great example.
Anything else? Yeah.
There's in 1968 in Tokyo. There's a huge student demonstration against U.S.-Japan military treaty, security treaty, and it wasn't successful, but it was huge. It was huge. Yeah.
Has anyone brought up the U.S. student movement against Vietnam back in the 60s? Well, I mean, it really wasn't until the students became engaged in the anti-Vietnam marches back in the 60s that the issue took off and exploded in this country, and the war started coming to an end. And the student movement then sort of was really ignited by an incident at Kent State University, where the National Guard were called in against the student movement going on that campus. And how many students were killed that day? Four students were killed that day. Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young have a great song about it on Deja Vu album, if you're interested. But yeah, so that was a student movement that led to the end of a huge war. Ohio, Kent State, Ohio.
Let's not forget about Soweto, the students who rose up against the apartheid, and hundreds of people who were sacrificing their lives there. And this young Czech man who was fighting against Soviet invasion and set himself on fire and then refused treatment until he died. He couldn't stand for it anymore. These are the backs of the people and the shoulders that we're standing upon to support. And there's a lot of them to support us. Okay, so we're gonna do anything else about that? All right, so we're gonna get on our feet and get to the action pretty soon. So we're gonna do some plus training really fast. And we have the grass actually, but they just opened it up. It was totally closed, and we thought it was a big conspiracy. So let's use the grass for a moment. So everyone, come out. Sorry about last night.
All right. So I'm gonna get back a little bit. This is the hub. She's saying that this is good for gathering people together, blocking intersections and that sort of thing. Seeming less threatening.
Very good, yeah. Great. Circle up. Okay, great. Okay. Another cool tactic is melt. It's a way to get to the ground. I'm not like super flexible, but anybody can do this. You kind of think of yourself as sort of slowly collapsing to the ground. And all come up together. Come up, same time. Helping each other up. Anyone who needs support. Then you help them. Yeah. So what's that good for? Science. Ways to be in a public space and all of a sudden there you are on the ground.
Spectacle.
Loving the earth. Disrupting the system. And let's not forget the puddles.
Some people used it, like not us, but some people used it to illustrate global warming and melting of the ice caps. It's pretty cool. Okay, the next one we're going to do is civilians. So, one of you have done this before, right? I'll give you see your hands. Yeah. Okay. So this is also the signal for it. This is civilians. You can't hear the word, right? So everyone do that. This and then civilians. Yes. Like twinkle hands out this time. So civilians is when we're maybe in the heat is a little bit on, like we want to break out of an action quickly, or we want to get to an area which we can't normally get into so easily. So we go civilian, meaning you act like regular people who don't protest normally, you're talking on your cell phone, you're, hey, how are you? So we're going to pretend that this little pocket over here is like going into a building. Maybe it's big, maybe it's in front of the flowers. So everyone's going to, when I say civilian, is going to find their way over to that area. Even though it's the one at the time. So hop!
Hop, 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 hop,
There's nothing going on here.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. And there they are. They made it.
Good. Okay. Everybody, wall north. Wall south. Okay, figure it out. We're in a narrower space. Wall east. You can do this.
Nice, guys.
Wall north. Really, really good. Okay, so now, wait, no, hold it, wall. Mark. So now we're going to beat the wall. Hold on. Okay, you're going to have to leave here. That's a move. And then you guys make the decision. John is going to call where you go now. Down. Keep your arms. Okay? So, here you guys just have to stay in the space. Oh, no.
So wall melt is when they set down, keeping their arms linked.
So what do I do over here?
Now this is we're marching, right? Buddy up. And you're going to put your hand on the shoulder of the person next to you. So this is a way that we can control speed. So now if we start marching, march forward. This is cool.
That makes sense.
So if you're just joining us, we are in Bryant Park for Occupy Wall Street's Summer Disobedience training. Right now we're doing Plus training, so practicing different march tactics.
Large going that way, following Sean and Mark. This march is going to the right. Okay? So let's try that. To the right.
Around to the right on the trail.
And then we continue marching without being disrupted by the police.
This is getting really sophisticated.
Okay, stop! Roll north! Roll north!
Oh, okay.
Upwall! Turn right! Roll up! March! Speed up! Slow down! Stop! Great! Oh, civilians!
Where'd they go?
Hop!
There they are. These are kind of like warm-ups, I've noticed, these Plus Brigade trainings. They're kind of warm-ups for the subsequent actions.
Congratulations. That was awesome. I've got whatever video you need of the moments. That was, thanks for taking one for the team.
You all have to be here, but I know that sometimes it's better for us to hear it too. Where is it? There it is! Yeah. Okay, so, right. Okay. The most important thing to remember is, am I free to leave? Well, do it afterwards. Go ahead. Oh, shoot. You rest. We'll do it after. Okay. Am I free to leave? And actually, the first thing is just breathe. Stay calm. You don't have to tell them anything. Just stay calm, and it's cool. Am I free to leave? You always have the right to remain silent. They won't tell you that. This is in television. They won't tell you that. But you have the right and do yourself a favor. And remain silent. Don't talk to cops. Okay? Searches. You need to really vocally say, I do not consent to this search. If a cop is saying what's in your pockets, what's in your bag, let me see your bag, you need to say that loud enough that people around you hear you. I do not consent to this search. You are not resisting, but you have to say that. It may not help you right then, but it will help you later in court. So, am I free to leave?
Am I free to leave?
Stay silent. And I do not consent to this search.
I do not consent to this search.
Cool. They're on the second to last page. They're in your book. Also, one more thing. Hup. So, for de-arrest, we're going to try something. Stay in explanation. I am a cop now, okay? I'm grabbing Madeline. Cameras. Out now. Love is the answer. So I would say love is the answer. Madeline, green shirt, right? To try to draw a focus. So when I say love is the answer, everyone come try to bring Madeline away. Get group around her and then she's marching or whatever we're doing. Yeah? Yeah. Let's try that. Yeah.
Okay, so this is interesting.
All of a sudden they all grab me and like, so I just like go like this. Like, first thing that is, you like
Don't
that.
even raise your hand. Very neutral. Try to not let them touch any
So
of the
just
cards.
go like dead
Because they
weight.
will accuse anyone of resisting. It won't hold us resisting.
Interest, I guess. I was arrested on Wednesday night, and I was in there with a number of other people, and some being here now, but one individual who was just like all of us whoa, I was sort of keeping that overall.
Okay.
But anyways, one of the individuals in there who really was arrested at the very same time as most of the rest of us were for the very same action was charged with an additional resisting. And it's really sort of interesting. I just want to say this as sort of a little story just to get it across how in real life what it's like. It's interesting, we were in the cell and we were sort of talking about our arrest, and he was saying how cool he thought it was that he found a way to resist that couldn't be interpreted as resisting. But guess what? The police interpreted as resisting, and all he did was this, and didn't allow them to cuff him. And that was interpreted as resisting. So I recommend arms down to the side, even like to the back maybe, and allow them to do it. Unless, there are diversity of tactics. If you want to resist for a certain reason, that is up to you. You will get charged higher. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't do that, because that might be a tactic that'll be effective at times. But if you're thinking of a really soft, easy as possible arrest where you're released as quickly as possible, just don't resist. That's all. Go to the ground if that's what they're doing to you. They're going to also, and I'll stop with two more things I want to say. One is that they will provoke you to resist. They will say, stop resisting, stop resisting. And I turned around to the guy and said, you're the only one who's resisting. Just put the friggin' handcuffs on me. But literally, and then, but what I wanted to do was go, fuck you, and resist. Because he was telling me, he was doing that. So just know that they're gonna try and instigate you to resist. And the second thing I want to say is jail support. It is jail support. It is so important. And if you go onto the jail support site right now, they're on strike. And they're doing that for a reason. They're doing that because there's not enough people coming out for jail support. And they're sort of making a point in doing that by saying, like, we gotta self-generate this jail support. We can't think that just because there's a working group or a Facebook site that says jail support on it, that people are gonna be there for us. So get down, find out where the prisoners are, and get down there, as many of you as you can. Bring some chips, some water. They're getting crap in that cell for food. They're getting Coca-Cola. Bring them some good fresh water, some good snacks, and be there. There's a number that you can call, and I don't know it offhand, but we'll share that at some point today. I'll get that number off my iPad and I'll share it, that you can call. It's a jail support number. Find out where the prisoners are.
It's in there. It's in your handbook here. So also in this handbook, there's homework. Your homework is jail support, so that's listed in there. And it has the NLG's number, and it has maps of all the future parts too in here. This is updated. So it has all of them in there for where we're going to be going. So hold on to this and check it out. Thank you so much for it.
And if I could just add one thing. 99% of what you said is fucking awesome. But one thing, your right to remain silent. Please, when you're in the jail, don't talk about what you did. Don't encourage your friends to talk about what they did. Don't encourage and even maybe help discourage ordinary prisoners who are in there, and remind them that the cops are not their friends, and that anything that they say, they have listening devices, they have everything. Whatever you say in that jail cell is their property.
So thank you. That's all important information. Very important to bring that up. So this love is the answer tactic is not a tactic that necessarily everyone would be comfortable doing, but it is something that we should be aware of, and that some people want to use and know how to use and have a shared vocabulary about. So we're just going to teach it now, and then we have to move on to the breakouts and get into the actions. So then we can talk later at the end of the day, debrief, and really sit and talk about everything and ask questions. So. Love is the answer. If I'm the police and I'm drawing Madeline away, people would gather around her, like you're embracing her, and draw her away, and then people fill in around so that she can disappear a little bit, yeah? And then you can okay? So let's try that again.
I'm sorry.
So, I am a policeman.
Love is the answer.
Love is the answer. Mark, you're the answer.
So this love is the answer is basically taking people away from the police. Excuse me, sir. Sneak past you. Thank you.
All right, so let's pull it in a little tighter. Everyone come in a little bit tighter. Yeah, it's good. Let's sit down if we will. We're getting ready to start our action today. We have just one, it sounds like. And talk about it at all? Okay, so and so after the action leaves, then what we do is we go back into citizen, and we just all go off on our own ways. But then at two, right? At two, I believe it's at 48. And so we all meet there. We're all in citizen. You just show up, real casual, go up, sit down in the steps. And then you start seeing as everybody gets together, then we'll have another just like outreach that we do to the audience around us so that we can, but the real key here is that we go into this as citizens, and we don't really want to like advertise too much that we're going there, because then those guys tend to want to try to shut it down before we get there. So we don't want that to happen. We want to be able to get in there, get in so that we can do a big group outreach, kind of our finishing. I'm kind of acting as a coordinator today, and so we do have, I know we have a coordinator for, I don't see her right now, she went over there, for this action. If anyone want to maybe trade information with me so that we can just stay in communication throughout the day. Cool. If anybody want to just trade information with me before we head out onto the action, I can take like phone numbers and that, and or pass out my phone number so that we can keep into communication. Just keep everybody on page, because it really works that if we're all showing up right there pretty promptly at 2, just right in unison, get settled in, and then be ready to pull this action off.
So you're the calm man?
I am the calm man. I'm pretty calm.
Are other groups joining us today? Or like are other groups joining us today?
To my knowledge, no. Do you have any more information on that? Other groups are.
Any other groups? Like, is it just going to be us?
It's just going to be this group
today.
Yeah,
and we have a series of actions plans.
Okay.
Yeah, and so like he's going to actually go.
Andy.
Andy's going to go and explain the different actions today. Listen to the different actions and kind of just decide which one is going to fit your comfort level or your interest, and meet with those people that are coordinating those actions, and then you talk about more of the details with them.
Okay. So I'm going to talk about the debt action that we're doing. We're doing a 3-part action. It's going to be in 3 different locations. The first location is right over here at Bank of America. We're going to call it Blowing Bubbles. Bank of America's Blowing Bubbles. We have lots of bubbles over there, some children's toys, bubble pipes, stuff like that. Go over there, grab some.
We got them all here. Why don't we sit down now?
Okay. And the second spot is going to be at the debt clock, which is a couple of blocks up that way. We're going to do a mic check in front of the debt clock, talk about debt in our country and in the world, and then we have a lot of balloons with debt information written on them. We're going to pop the balloons. After that, we're going another couple of blocks up to some water fountains, and we're giving a drowning in debt mic check. And our tactics, we're trying to focus on 2 things. Moving to different locations together and just making sure we're having a lot of fun. We're going to be blowing bubbles and blowing balloons and just talking to as many people as we can. So that's the debt action. Thanks.
Okay, so you want to talk about the first part with the blowing bubbles?
Okay.
Here, I'll pass these around. You can blow some up as long as everyone has one. There are a few being passed around. And then if you have a marker, you can write dead on it or 1 series on it.
Wow, OS ring?
I thought.
Boston.
So basically, it looks like what's going to happen is we're going to go to an undisclosed location, civilian mode, which means I'm going to be taking the stream down until we get there. We'll bring it up about at 2. 2 o'clock is when that is going to happen. And then from there, it looks like we're going to do a sequence of debt-related actions here
So one
in
more
the
quick
city.
little talk about information. The reason we're starting with Bank of America, first of all, it is right there. Second of all, they have had a gigantic part in the housing bubble and now in the student loan bubble. Right now, they have over $1 trillion in outstanding loans that people like us owe to them. And they have received 2 federal bailouts. They have also received backing for their derivatives branch from the taxpayers. So even if they're very dangerous, very risky derivatives investments fail, we will have to pay them again. They are not risking much of anything with their derivatives at this point. And we just feel that they are, in a lot of ways, the poster child for the bailouts. They have received a lot of the money, they have received a lot of the benefits. So we're going to go there, we're going to have this action, and we're going to make sure people know this information as well. Okay, and then the reason we're going to the debt clock next is obviously that is what this is all about, is just debt. We are in a system right now where the banks keep extending our debt and extending our debt and extending our debt. Our national debt is $15 trillion and climbing. It was a third of that about 10 years ago. We pay $500 billion a year just on the interest for that. And when you add in not just our federal debt, but things like student loans and mortgages and stuff like that around the world, it is over $100 trillion in debt for just a handful of banks. And those are some of the things we're going to talk about in the mic checks. But those are some of the things you should have for information when people come up and talk to us and when we approach people as we're doing the marches. Because in a lot of these marches, people will ask us, what are you doing? Or even just sort of give you that look like they are interested, but maybe they're not ready to reach out and talk. So make sure we're talking to people. That's a big part of Summer Disobedience School, making sure we're getting used to talking to people as we pass them by during these actions. And then the last one is another, again, debt action, the fountains, drowning in debt. It's sort of going to be something where we wrap up all of the things we talked about and have sort of a fun action at the fountains. So, like I said, lots of fun. Make sure you guys are talking to people as you go and have as much of this information as you can. There's a flyer going around with some of the banking information, so that way we can talk to people. But focus on moving together and having a good time.
So these are 2 different flyers. We don't have a lot of flyers, but whatever, just take a few from each so you have something to give to people. These are for student debt, which we'll do around the fountain, and these are for bank. So if you can pass those around and take just a few from each pile and have with you. So Andy talked about the first. Whoa! It's gonna be a great pop when we say we're gonna pop them all together at the same time, which is gonna be great. So then what we do when we get so after we do the debt clock popping of the debt bubble or debt balloon, then we're gonna call civilians to get over to the fountain. So the fountain, you guys know the fountain. Civilian to the fountain. It's on the west side. It's a huge fountain. I or someone will quickly jump into the fountain, call HUP. If you are comfortable doing this, you will jump into the fountain as well. It is a privately owned public space, so it is our right to be there and to enjoy this space. Not unless the security and the people of the building tell us that we can't be there and they get confirmation from the manager of the building, then we have to leave. So we're gonna do it really quick. So it's gonna be a real gorilla melt in the water, drowning, right? So I'll call HUP, we'll gather, quiet, and then we'll say, all mic check, we're drowning in student debt. Everyone says, we're drowning in student debt, and then I'll call melt, and then we'll all drown, melt the water, and then we quickly leave and go out in front of the fountain, and then Aslan is going to do a mic check there, and then we'll be done, and we'll debrief. So, I'm going to try that part, just so we all, here's a fountain.
So you guys will notice that sometimes the audio will go down, and that's because I'm muting it when they say something like, we're going to go civilian. Because the whole idea with going civilian is to be surreptitious about it, and it really hurts being surreptitious if they see me walking around with my phone out like I do, and if there are any cops watching, you know. So, I mean, I'll have my phone on hand just in case somebody gets targeted by the police, but that's why I mute it, and I'm going to actually take the stream down until I get to the first location. So right now they're just practicing melting into the fountain. I guess I'm the only streamer here. Huh. And they're just seeing if there's anything else they need to rehearse.
March. You need
We're going to be one march.
Oh.
Today we are one march. So there only needs to be one comms person.
I'll do that.
Great, thank you.
Good. Okay. Then we need people to live stream. I think that's probably not a problem today. So we're good. We're good. We should have a couple of people in a group this big who are kind of liaisons. The kind of liaisons we want is, for instance, if somebody's coming up and saying, what in the hell are you doing here? Someone who will step aside and kind of talk to them. It's sort of a PR role. Would you like to do that? That's awesome. Fantastic. For a second one, and this can go back and forth, but the same kind of role can be played with the police if someone is comfortable. Whoever does it with the police needs to remember, you are not negotiating on our behalf, but you are getting information from them that you can communicate to the group. It can really be a help in de-escalation to just say, oh my goodness, we're only going to be here for 5 minutes. If someone feels comfortable playing that role, it would be awesome. Yes, okay, good. We're good on that. And what roles am I forgetting? We definitely on this one, we need a timekeeper. We want to really be on time getting to Times Square. So So we should be, what, maybe 10 minutes at each location at the most. We shouldn't spend a lot of time at each location. Would somebody like to be that timekeeper who kind of goes, okay, good, Austin will do that. Yeah, will keep us moving so that we can get to our location at Times Square. And did I forget any roles? Can anyone think of any other roles we need in this action?
We do have one more role we need today.
Yes.
We have 2 mic checks, and I can only do one of them, or should only do one of them. So we have a Bank of America mic check all written out. If somebody would like to lead that, it's very short, and it is something that we absolutely need today. Does anybody feel comfortable with that? All right, great, thank you. We'll talk about it on our way.
Then maybe one more role, the police liaison. Can we?
Yeah,
You did do that? Good.
Yeah. And I think that's it. Are we pretty much ready to roll?
Making sure they're not. Sure. Right.
Sorry. So I'm going to go ahead and take the stream down until we get to the first location. I'm just going to do that so I can put all my gear, hide all my gear. I mean, I'm sure that if they're going to track us, they know what we look like. But it's as much out of respect for these people practicing being surreptitious as it is for, actually being surreptitious. So I hope you guys understand. I will be back up about 2-ish. Yeah, because we're going to go civilian.
Yeah.
So I figured it's probably just the best to take the stream down until we get there.
Okay, so I won't stream today.